I'm setting this up right now for a trip to carry a 90,000 pound scraper from Farmington, New Mexico to Phoenix, Arizona. It's not a very long trip, but that is a exceptionally heavy and oversized load. It's also a high value load, which means it pays a very good rate per mile. I'm just posting the link here, and then we will be rocking. Alright, I'm going to give a few seconds for a couple of viewers to see if we get any viewers, and then I'll get us started. Sound check is working. We should be good to go. So as I said, this is a 90,000 pound scraper, which is a tractor, going from Farmington, New Mexico to Phoenix, Arizona. It's a pretty good pay rate. This is a high value cargo. It's an important delivery. It's a heavy cargo, and it's an articulated trailer, so that'll net us some good experience as well. In addition, I know this first half is more or less a backish road, thankfully not too twisty. And while this is highway, it's got some good twists in it. So it looks like we're going to the south end or the north side of Phoenix. So this stretch across here is all I-40, and this is I-17. So should be a pretty good run. Again, it's just confirming that my ship is, or not my ship, that my tractor is good for heavy cargo. Since my last stream, I have changed trucks. I am now running a Kenworth W900 with a 625 horsepower engine and 18-speed transmission. So it's a little growlier and seems to have a little better low-end torque than the Peterbilt I was driving. So let's get this show on the road. And go pick up our cargo. Got plenty of fuel for this trip. We're freshly rested, so we should be in pretty good shape to get going. What the hell? I don't know what I clipped there, but I did damage, so I'm going to just back up and give the truck a quick service. I must have clipped that gate and not realized it. Amateur move. I'm better than that. I go through those all the time. Quick service. Okay, now we know the truck's 100%. Let's get ourselves going. Hey Mark. I just described it. Our load is going to be a 90,000 pound heavy load. Long trailer, articulating trailer. Shortish trip. It's only from Farmington, New Mexico to Phoenix, Arizona. I've switched trucks since my last stream. This is a Kenworth W900 tractor. 625 horsepower, 18-speed transmission, and it is set up for heavy load. It's also got a kind of aggressive bull bar on the front. Let's see if we can get front end view here. You can get a very good shot of it there. We'll get one later. But basically, if I bump into something, it's going to get the bad side of it with this bull bar that's on here. 8:11 in the morning, fully rested, plenty of fuel for this trip, so we should be in pretty good shape. just head over to Plaster & Sons and pick up the tractor, and, or the load, and get on going. Earlier I was doing Euro Truck and I was in Iceland, and talk about some crazy driving. They give you bad weather, bad road conditions and everything. You end up on icy, twisty mountain roads that you can't even make the corners on. It was pretty challenging and a lot of fun. Alright, that's our load. It's a heavy load, we knew that. Let's go over there and pick it up. One thing I like better about this versus the Peterbilt I was driving last, the Peterbilt had a split front window, and sometimes that bar in the middle kind of got in the way of visibility. This has got a single windshield, which is nice. Yeah, when I did Iceland, I actually carried a load from Sicily. What city in Sicily was it? I think it was Medina, actually. All the way up to the north coast of Iceland. So it was an interesting run. And then the one out of there, which I've actually just started, I've got it paused right now, I'm in Denmark on it, is to Romania. So that's a really long haul. I just took the ferry over to Denmark, which was like a 45-hour ferry ride. And that's where I left the truck for my next session. I don't know whether that one will get streamed or not. So this is a pretty big tractor we're pulling here. Like I said, it's 90,000 pounds, and we've got 14 hours to get it there, which we're just we have 14 hours, but I think it's only going to take us 7 hours to get it there, so that's not too bad. Yeah, both of those were really long runs. It's a lot of fun though. The one before that I had done was from the middle of Finland down to Sicily, and that was another pretty long run. It's going to be one of those nights, I can see. There we go. Hopefully no damage to the trailer. I'll look in a moment. Nope, trailer's fine. Banged up our front end of our truck a little bit. Obviously this isn't going to be a very smooth run if I keep driving this way. Yeah, I added this thing called Pro Mods to the Euro Truck Simulator, and it does a couple of things. It enhances the signs, the roadways, there's a bunch of visual enhancements. The other thing it does is it adds several roads and little villages within the countries of Europe that are already supported, and then it adds Finland, a little bit up the top of Russia near Murmansk. It adds Romania, part of Greece. It adds Cyprus, Iceland. So it really adds a lot to the game. It's really huge, and it's a free add-on you can get for it, which is amazing. They did have a $1 request for rapid download, so you didn't have to download it in like 9 chunks. And I figured that if it's, you know, all the ratings on it from reviews and things were really good, so I said, well, I'll pay the buck for it. It was definitely worth it. $1 US was nothing to pay for that kind of an add-on. It's the kind of thing that if a game company did it commercially, they'd probably charge $20 or $30 for an add-on of that caliber. So most of this trip's going to be desert. Not the most exciting thing to be looking at while we're driving. Yeah, the hours is I mean, what they put into doing the scenery. Iceland has a whole bunch of unique scenery that doesn't exist anywhere else in the game, with all the volcanic rock and the snowscapes, as well as they did custom road surface stuff. They had roads that were icy, they had roads that were snow covered, they had some that were snow sanded. I mean, it's just amazing. I would have paid $20 for that add-on without thinking about it. So $1 was nothing. I was half tempted to like contact the company and say, look guys, you want to start doing some of this stuff for the US game, I'll start paying you to do it. You know, I bet fans would do that. I bet fans would pay real money for that. If they would do for the US what they did for Europe, I'd be willing to pay $50 for it. Hands down. Wouldn't even think twice about it. My only requirement is I'd want them to make sure they added Texas, because there is a company that did a coast-to-coast mod and has an enhanced Texas, but it's really buggy, and some of the scenery's very much substandard. So, but if they added, you know, if they just said we're going to work on expanding and adding to what's already here too, that would be wonderful. All right, so we're on the move now. Speed limit's 55 miles an hour through this part. I think it picks up to 70 after we get through town here. Of course, it's going to drop first. Let's not run over that police car. That'll give me another big fine. I now have 8 trucks and drivers in my virtual company on the US side. So my money goes up perpetually while I'm driving. I'll just get a notification that one of my drivers completed a load and it adds a couple $1,000s to the bank. On the European one, I've got 4 trucks and drivers. That includes me. So I've got myself plus 7 in the US and myself plus 4 in the Europe one. And what I do is basically when I hit 300,000, I buy another truck and hire another driver every time. And once the truck I'm driving gets between 10 and 20,000 miles on it, this is on the US one. Once the truck I'm driving gets between 10 and 50 and 20,000 miles on it, I just upgrade myself to a new truck and give this one to a new driver. So that gives me my excuse to get new trucks. Yeah, the truck and driver manager is cool. You can buy multiple garages, so you can have them hosted different places, and the garages can be upgraded and more bays added, because you have to have a bay for each driver. They've really done a lot of cool stuff with the game on both Euro and American truck. It's really the same basic game, quote unquote, just with but there's more than just scenery that changes you. They have to change other things to accommodate the local environment. Oh, this is going to suck climbing this hill with that big load. Yep, here we go, dropping speed. So, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he says, I can't believe you just drive a truck all the time doing this. I said, yeah, but I'm also doing the business man. So when I told him about the virtual business management aspect of it, he got very interested. He says he'd enjoy that part of it, not the truck driving. He's not somebody who's very up on what games are out there, so he didn't realize there were business simulation games out there. And he's sort of an entrepreneurial type in his professional world, so that appealed to him, to know that I had that, and to know that there were games like that. I don't know that he'd ever go to the point of buying and playing them, but he at least has the interest. I think the scenery of the Southwest with these, the way the cliffs are and everything is kind of cool. It's a very pretty area, and the game does a decent job of representing it. If I had a trip up to Grand Canyon, you'd get some nice views, because the road runs right along the edge of the Grand Canyon. And while it's amazing and gorgeous, the only way to really see the Grand Canyon is to stand on the edge of it. That you cannot grasp the magnitude of it until then. The same applies to Big Bend Park in Texas. Big Bend National Park it's undescribable. I mean, the pictures are gorgeous, but to stand there in the middle of it and see the power of nature and what it did over millennia still, but just amazing. If you look down the bottom right now, it's showing income 3,507 from one of my drivers. Ivona B. So my money goes up just while I'm sitting here driving along. I am going to pick up a little bit of speed and get around this bus because I can't stand buses. They are my nemesis. They drive very unpredictably. I had one trying to pass me in Iceland around a hairpin corner in the snow because I was doing, I don't know, around 40 kilometers per hour, and it was posted 60, but of course posted doesn't take into account the road condition. Crud. Hey dude, there was a big truck coming at you. Pulling out in front might not have been your smartest thing to do. I imagine the mountains in northern India would be amazing to see, the Himalayas, whatever. I imagine that's going to be a pretty cool area to see in real life, knowing how tall those mountains are and everything. Except it probably gets quite cold up there too, and I wouldn't like that. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. There's parts of the Arizona desert that literally look like an alien planet. If you look up pictures, you might get some representation of it, but it's called the Painted Desert in the Petrified Forest in Arizona, and it is just. When I first saw it, I said it's like I'm standing on another planet. The colors and the landscape, it just literally looks like something out of a science fiction movie or show. The layers of the ground and rocks are like blue and green, and it just doesn't look right. It's not brown dirt or brown rocks or gray rocks. It's amazing. I hate hill starts when I have this heavy of a load. I can go right on red legally here. Oh shoot. U.S. places you can. Speed limit's 75, it'll probably take us about a week to get up to 75. Get the pedal right to the floor right now. That's it, give me a little bit of downhill to let me pick up some momentum. So on the left, not here, but further up, I don't think this is it. No. Well, maybe it is. No. Further up on the left, you should pass a huge coal power plant. And in the game, it looks kind of cool. In real life, it is huge. It feels like it just goes on and on and on when you pass it. There aren't a lot of coal power plants. Actually, I don't know if it's a power plant. It might just be a processing station for coal. But there's these mountains of coal in real life when you go by it. It's just crazy. It's probably not a power station because I don't remember seeing it generating smoke. And coal is dirty. I don't remember where it is. I know it's after we hit Arizona, and there's the Arizona line, so... might be after this bridge. I think it's Arizona. You know, now I'm questioning myself here. Why are you doing way under the speed limit? That little Subaru just went by us like we were chained to a post and we're doing 75 miles an hour. Same with that Jeep. Whoa. Yeah, maybe that coal plant is back before the exit we got on. Maybe it's east of there. Or coal supply, whatever it is. See if I can get another external view when we get on this next straightaway up here. Get a good shot of the truck going down the highway. And I'm still sticking to my theme of black truck, so shiny black with chrome trim. Kind of my thing. Alright. Drive by. There we go. Couldn't run any longer than that or I might run into something. Top down. Whoa, 3 people watching. Hello, everybody. It's rare that we get more than 2. I think the other day I saw it pop up to 5. Yeah, I just figure the black shiny thing is the theme of my trucking company, that's all. So whenever I buy a truck for one of my drivers, I do it. It's just, that's the thing, shiny black. Kind of matches my car, actually. My car is shiny black with chrome trim. I opted for the fancy wood accented steering wheel on this truck too. In the words of John Hammond, spared no expense. I think this truck came out at about $250,000. Fully accessorized. Ooh, accident. Ooh, somebody's having a bad day. Look at that. At least the cab didn't roll over. Looks like he just lost his trailer. Still, he ain't gonna get paid for that dirt haul. Yeah, I was trying to price out a truck for my new driver on the Europe side, and I was doing a cheaper truck because it was going to be a pretty minor, new driver and everything. And I said, oh, I want a couple of these things. I start clicking the boxes, the next thing I know, I'm at 200 grand, 200,000 euro. So I took a few things off. Got it down to, I think, 140 in the end. Because usually I only do all the options on mine, and then yeah, it's 95 Fahrenheit, so that's about right, 36C. Oh, you're saying that video? Yeah, I did see that. That was crazy. I can't pick up speed. We're climbing. Come on. Blocking up the whole highway here. And being exactly what I get annoyed at on the highway. Here we go. I'm gonna have to be over in that lane soon though. Come on, minivan, get by me. Hang on a sec, I have an alert on my front door. Oh, it wasn't my front door. It was my sprinklers for our lawn, our irrigation system. Here in Texas, we have to have irrigation systems on our lawn. And ours normally runs twice a week. It runs Sunday mornings and Thursday mornings. That's when the city allows us to water. And it runs for an hour and a half before dawn. But since I put in a smart controller, it's only run once because smart controller looks at the weather patterns, the weather reports, and the history of the past 3 days' weather based on a local weather station, and skips it if it feels that the grass has had enough water. And it was just notifying me that it's not going to do tomorrow because we've had enough rain this week. So it's kind of cool. I figure it's probably going to save us between $20 and $30 a month in water costs. Which I'd call that substantial. Our water bill's about $130 a month, so if it cuts it down to around $100, I would be very happy. Also in the winter it won't water if the temperature is, I think I have it 10 degrees above freezing. It's Flagstaff, Arizona. That's about the halfway point, maybe a little more than halfway. Now the rest of this trip is downhill with a bunch of turns, so I gotta be on my best behavior, otherwise we might have a problem. That problem being a rollover, which I'd rather not do. So I'm actually going to do 65, even though the speed limit's 75 here. Because those bends make me nervous. Especially with such a heavy load. Yeah, the controller was about $250, so, but the way I figure it, that means within a year it's paid for itself in savings. And I don't think that's a bad return on investment. And it all ties into my smartphone, and it ties into our security system and our fire smoke detectors in the house. So it's interesting. We use Nest as our smart home technology, and that guy rear ends me and I get in trouble for it. Wonderful. But we use Nest for our smart home technology, which means security, our front door lock, our doorbell, our thermostat for heating and cooling, and our smoke detectors. I also use Philips Hue for smart lighting, and our garage door openers link into that. They're called MyQ, and they link into the whole Nest ecosystem. So what's cool about all that tying together is, yeah, I understand a little bit about X25. Only a little though. I don't really get into stuff at that level generally. So what's cool with the Nest thing is if my smoke alarms go off, not only do they screech like everybody else's, but it disarms my security system, it unlocks my front door, it turns on the lights, it opens the garage doors, so it ensures we have a safe way to exit, and it also turns on the sprinkler system, the irrigation system outside, so that the ground is dampened and it helps prevent the spread of the fire. And I think that's a really cool blend of everything working together. Also all the cameras activate, or restart recording, so they're normally recording anyway, but it flags it. It flags it as an activity, so that later on, if there's something that the camera picked up that can help, figure out what happened, we have it. Yeah, I thought X25 was an IBM thing. It sounded familiar. The last time I really got into the really intense smart home stuff was 13 years ago, so it's been a while. But now with all this wireless technology, they make it so much easier and more more affordable for people. It was really hard for me to have any reason to not protect our home with it, I guess is what it came down to. At the price point, everything we did here was under $3,000, and I did a lot of the install myself because, again, it's all wireless technology. As long as you have a basic inkling of how it all ties together, it's really quite easy to do it. Lots of wide open space in Arizona. And I did a mesh network for our Wi-Fi. I think I talked about it one other day. I did Google Wi-Fi, and that was amazingly easy too. I think including unboxing it and deploying the 3 access points took me maybe 20 minutes. And like I say, that includes unboxing. And there are other options out there for all of this, and they're all pretty good. It's a matter of what ecosystem you want to live in. I wanted everything cloud hosted. I didn't want to have any minimal amount of equipment in the home. Nest was a good solution for that. Plus, I pretty much have everything in our world tied into the Google ecosystem already. So it just kind of made sense for me to stick with Nest, which is owned by Alphabet as well. Actually, I think they just brought it back into Google itself, Nest. But it was originally another Alphabet company. I'm going to keep it at 55 here because we're about to get off the highway. I see no point in pushing it. Another 14 minutes we'll be dropping off this big thing and see what other loads are here. Clear. Looks like I'm clear after that car. Still clear that way. Let's do it. Swing it a little wide here. Yep, we're good. We've also got Google Home, the voice pod things deployed throughout the house. So having it all tie into that's nice too. We can walk into a room and, say the activation word, and then, lights 40%, and the lights come on at 40% brightness or whatever. It's handy to have it all linked like that. We can also use that to arm and disarm the security and unlock the front door and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I knew that. The guy was pulled out past the line. I shouldn't be dinged for that. Oh gosh, I am not waiting for that line of vehicles. Nope, we're gonna let them park it. I don't feel like maneuvering that big thing into this tiny lot. Alright, another 35 grand for my company. Let's see what other jobs are out there, if there's another one I want to pick up right now. That one's all the way to Portland. Yeah, we're not going to pick that one up. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm going to switch over to Euro, so I'll start another stream in probably about 5 minutes on Euro. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the chat. We'll catch